Welcome to episode 6 of EverFree Radio. In today's podcast, we review this week's new rarity extravaganza, Sweet and Elite. Ed and Jim from AcousticBrony stop by to talk music, give us an exclusive live performance, and premiere a never-before-heard original recording. Finally, Bones and Socksy review A Drop of Moonshine by famed fanfic author Penstroke. This is your host, Final Draft, hoping you'll stick around for the
crepuscularity!
First up is our episode review.
Hello and welcome to EverFree Radio, bringing you our episode review of the newest episode, Sweet and Elite. I'm going to be your host today, Brushin Bones.
I'm your co-host, AutumnSpice.
And I'm the other co-host, Crescendo.
And boy, was this a great episode, I've got to tell you. This one is a real keeper. It's a rarity-centric episode. We've had a couple of those. With this season.
Absolutely, and it's so good that we do.
Yeah, I agree. I'm probably going to be the first to say this, though, that while I'm a little bit bummed that they've had so many rarity-centric episodes when others like Applejack haven't gotten nearly as much development. This was still a really good episode.
Well, we're only 9 episodes in, you have to remember, so there's going to be more, and I'm sure there's going to be, a lot more development on the parts of the other ponies that have not gotten much spotlight as the season moves on. I feel like the first half of the season's focusing on a couple of ponies, and then the other half might focus on a couple of ponies. Hopefully that'll be what happens.
Yeah, we still have a good 15 or 16 or so episodes to go, so no worries there.
So don't jump to conclusions, people. Don't panic. You have to remember how many episodes we have left and how much has been established in just 9.
Yeah, I agree. Now, admittedly, we're going to go ahead and give you the heads up right now that there will be spoilers, because this is going to be an in-depth review of the episode. All of its good parts, all of its flaws. So
may I go on my mini rarity rant for this? Because
go ahead and go on your mini rarity rant. We know how much you love rarity.
Okay, well, yes, as you guys know, I am a huge rarity fan, and originally she was not my favorite pony. Actually, it was Fluttershy. And I still love Fluttershy, but I think it all started when I got a Rarity toy, and then I was like, Rarity's kind of cool, and then I watched more episodes, and I think especially in Season 2, Rarity has been getting fantastic development, and I think it's to make a point, to be honest. Do you see that? Like, I think it's to make the point that she was, like, very stereotypical. I've seen a lot of people say that she can be a woman, but she can have a strong will, get things done, she runs her own business. And it's not like I'm some feminist or something, but it's just so great to see a cartoon character go against the grain, and every little bit of her histrionics and her drama is just so fun to watch, and she's aware that she's doing it, which makes her just a very dynamic, very fun character. You never know what she's going to throw at you next. A little different from Pinkie Pie's style, but it's still very, what is she going to do in this situation? Because she always has such crazy reactions to it that it's fun to see what she'll do next.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree. And it is interesting with the characters in this show, because we've been with them for 1.5 seasons almost, and you could say they fall into some stereotypes, very broad stereotypes, but it's always interesting to see them break out of them, per se.
I think that's what's so awesome about this show. I think it's what really attracts watchers in any demographic, is that they are not staying like they're cliches. They started as interesting but slightly cliche, and now they're turning into these incredibly in-depth characters, even though this is a children's show.
Oh, I agree. One of the best things about the characters is that their development helps to add more depth to characters that were already at the beginning. I found them to be pretty well-rounded overall. And there were characters that you yourself, you can see this character and say, I know that kind of person, they're the kind of characters that exist in real life.
Or you can relate yourself.
Oh, and you can, yeah, absolutely.
I'm a lot like Twilight Sparkle.
Study.
That, or just being in my own little world,
Yeah, I would say that I've probably got Dash's laziness.
Oh, I have that. I think everybody does. It's a very relatable trait.
I've probably got a hint of Dash's obsession with everything being awesome and cool and radical.
Oh, God.
For example, I love Rarity, but I'm by no means a fashionista or any sort of, obsessed, super clean, everything has to be perfect. But I do have a bit of that OCD side that both Rarity and Twilight show, and stuff like that. It's just cool to, basically, when you have characters you can relate to, a lot of people are going to enjoy watching their antics and such, because they're like, wow, I could put myself in this. Except I'm not a pony, but, you know.
Well, that being said, I think now it's time for us to get on to the actual nitty-gritty of the episode. So, starting us off, we had Rarity in Canterlot, showing us, in fact, that Twilight, as Celestia's star pupil, can, in fact, pull strings with the princess to get her friends special accommodations at Canterlot Castle.
She's got connections.
Yeah, that's one heck of a connection right there, being directly connected to the princess through Twilight.
Reminds me of Spike's bizarre connection with Hoity Toity, where he was like, I got Hoity Toity come here. Wait, Spike, what?
Well, it seemed to me like, if you go based off of the first episode, when Spike is partying with all of the partygoers from Canterlot, they came to hang out with Twilight, but Twilight was so concerned about the whole Mare and the Moon prophecy, she didn't do any hanging out. It seemed to me like in Canterlot, Spike was incredibly sociable, so it's not far-fetched that he might have some connections that could get him into contact with Hoity-Toity, especially considering that him being the assistant of Twilight Sparkle, number one pupil to Princess Celestia, means that he's just as likely to get connections because of her as she is because of Princess Celestia.
Exactly.
So, that being said, with Rarity getting the suite in Canterlot Castle, we of course have that. I found the guy hilarious, the running gag of, oh gosh, what are they called?
The bellboy?
The bellboy, oh yeah, the bellhop. Having all of those bags, oh geez, that was great.
That's like me when I go over somewhere for a weekend. I totally can relate to that. I think a lot of people can, that they just overpack.
I can't be the only person who thought the bellhop was a reference to the squeaky voice team from The Simpsons.
Oh my gosh!
I personally didn't see the reference, but I can see where you're going with that.
I can kind of see it. I think there's a lot of references that have been made with the bellhop.
The real question, I think, on everybody's mind is, where in the heck? Okay, because, Rarity's enjoying a nice Java at that cafe, and when she's complimented on her hat and is asked about it, from out of nowhere, this total bumpkin of a pony.
I call him Ellis Pony.
Oh gosh, that guy. I'm serious. Where in the heck?
He has the hat and everything.
See, what I find odd is that Rarity would attend a hoedown. I'm guessing that she's probably shoehorned into it because of Applejack.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking. That or she's lightened up a bit, and honestly you can tell that when she's in Ponyville, she's loosened up a good bit, and she loves spending time with the other main six. So it's not that far-fetched that by this point in season 2, she would attend a hoedown, and apparently had fun there, so...
Now, there's an interesting thought. Rarity attending a hoedown. Even better, if she's attending a hoedown at Sweet Apple Acres, this is just more fuel for you fanfic writers to write more shipping with Big Mac. But, on that point, getting upset because of the ponies who treated her more disrespectfully once they learned that she was friends with lesser ponies, common folk. That kind of fuels her motivation, and she's going to make Twilight an awesome get-up for her birthday party. And then the next day, after getting all of the supplies, bumps into Fancy Pants. Now, I gotta say, I love that guy's name, Fancy Pants, and
yes, it's wonderful.
I find him to be quite a cool character because he's that endearing kind of gentle colt that he's
absolutely
got class and he has style, and you can tell he's a wealthy, well-off celebrity pony, but he's not the kind of person who has it swell their head to ridiculous proportions.
He's quite polite. It's really nice.
Yeah, I have to say that he does seem like pretty much the only reasonable speaking role pony we see in Canterlot.
Pretty much. Like, all the others are pretty much snobs. Just total snobs.
Oh, yeah.
Posh, nose in the air. And if we're gonna mention Fancy Pants' introduction to Rarity, the nice little bump into hello, which spills her stuff, we have to mention his escort, Prize Jim.
Recolor of Princess Luna?
Well, she has Princess Luna's body type, but she does have different hair and a different
Yeah.
tail. But yeah, she does have Luna from season 1's body. And I noticed all of the various different names that people were giving her on Ponyburu, which included Escort Hooves and
Hey!
oh gosh, what was one of the other ones? They go on to include some pretty bad ones, but I'm pretty certain that the name that was agreed upon or was discovered to be her actual name was Prize Gem.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But you know that she was only there. She was doing her job. She was only there to be, eye candy and to be seen on the arm of, Fancy Pants, and that's why the entire time she was ever in frame, she was posing.
The expressions she made were hilarious. I loved it. I also want to bring up something that really stood out in this episode is just the fact that once again we're having another episode where it's about not being shallow, I guess. It was very interesting to see parody of all ponies deciding to Rainbow Dash's element over for a little bit and be loyal to her friends after she realizes that, wow, these people are not very pleasant to be around, maybe with the exception of Fancy Pants.
Also, on the topic of the animation in this episode, it's very noteworthy. You can especially see it in Rarity's expressions, especially towards the end, you can see her torn between feelings of guilt and shame, a little bit of terror at revealing that she knows the other 5 of the main 6, and then you eventually see her determination of pride in her friends.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and that's where I think the growth really comes from. Is she lets the fame go to her head. It's a nice callback to the episode with the Sonic Rain Boom and the whole Young Flyers competition, because she gets to be the center of attention, and then she lets all that attention go to her head. She goes a little bit insane, and it's a nice callback to that, because she let it get to her head before and it wound up costing her. And in this one, she's really trying to maintain focus on Twilight's dress while still being able to make connections with the posh upper class of Canterlot. But in the end, her desire to be with the in crowd of Canterlot overpowers her better judgment, until we see at the end that she would rather be with her true friends, and she appreciates her true friends a lot more than those who just wear a facade and stick their noses into the air.
Such as the ones who were insulting the dress, and then when Fancy Pants said, "Oh, it's a nice dress," they were like, "Oh, I want one. No, you should get 2.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's why I think Fancy Pants was a really great character for this episode too, because it shows that he's one of the few people who actually get it. He knows where the true good parts of Rarity and the rest of her friends are. He knows their true value.
On the topic of Rarity, actually, I do love how at the very start, when she's invited to the Wonderbolts Derby, she thinks it out rationally, separating them into pros and cons, and then eventually through the episode she declines, if you get what I mean, in a lack of rationality, eventually coming to lie to her friends about her cat being ill so she can go out.
Yeah, that was oh gosh. And who here did not see it coming? I mean, you could see it coming. There was a birthday party planned. If it wasn't for, even if the others were against it, there's no way Pinkie Pie would have Rarity miss the party.
Yeah.
She would be the first one to say, let's hop in the hot air balloon and go to Canterlot and take the party to her.
There's 2 things I wanted to mention, just going off of the points we just made. Speaking of the Wonderbolts, we got 2 more of the members' names. We don't know which is which, but we got names. We got Fleetfoot and what was the other one?
Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire. Were they trying to be Spitfire?
Well, no, that's just it. I think maybe you could even say this is a great opportunity for some fanon ideas of who Rapid Fire could be. Perhaps Rapid Fire is related to Spitfire.
I think I know which one is Rapid Fire. That would be the one that looks a lot like Spitfire but isn't Spitfire. That might be Rapid Fire. There is one. There's one. Isn't there one with a that looks a lot like Spitfire, but she's not. I know there's a Wonderbolt like that.
I'm not sure. Actually, I do think I know who you're talking about, and I really like her mane.
Oh yeah, but nobody can compare. Nobody can compare to Spitfire. Just saying.
Well, in all honesty, I honestly thought that I saw Spitfire in the race, but
I did. It was there.
So I'm kind of a little bit peeved, because Spitfire lost to Fleetfoot of all people.
Well, here, I just found a picture of the Wonderbolts, and you can probably tell which one I think is Rapidfire. We'll definitely put this in the video.
Well, they're all the Wonderbolts. They're generally about the same speed as each other. They all finished near enough the same time anyway, within seconds of each other.
See the one right next to Spitfire that just doesn't have yellow in her mane? That's probably Rapidfire.
Yeah, that's pretty much, they're dang near the same pony. I mean, same...
It's my first bet is that it's Rapidfire.
Same coat color and everything. The only difference is a lack of the lighter color in her mane.
Yeah, Spitfire has a superior mane. I know.
I do have to note the irony of Rarity claiming that Rainbow Dash is the Wonderbolt's trainer, especially since Rainbow Dash wants to be in the Wonderbolts.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, also, while the episode itself wasn't really much like this movie in particular, I found it rather interesting that one of the events that Rarity goes to, where she winds up showing her slightly more coarse side because she knows, Rainbow Dash and stuff like that, and she brings up Rainbow Dash, mentioning it, is a race, because it reminds me a lot of the first place that the main character in the movie My Fair Lady is taken to show off her now cultured and sophisticated way of speaking and acting, because the entire movie was about taking a cockney, coarse, street urchin woman and passing her off as a posh member of royalty. And the first place they decide to do that is a horse race. Rarity being at this race,
the feeling this was a reference,
and bringing up right off the bat when they say that they think Rapidfire is going to win, and the entire time they're talking that posh, like, oh yes, blah 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 sort of manner, and she's like, oh, I think Fleetfoot's going to win, blah blah blah. My friend Rainbow Dash says this and all that other stuff, and then when Fleetfoot wins, she jumps up into the air going, yeah, woohoo, and it's like that reminded me a lot of My Fair Lady, and it's not quite the same context, but very similar, I think, in its delivery.
It could very well be a reference to it.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, because we all know that they reference a lot.
Mm-hmm. So, this episode brings to light a new song for Season 2, and it has officially been called by Daniel Ingram, Becoming Popular, the pony every pony should know.
I loved this song.
Rarity's singing voice is amazing. Just saying.
I do have to note, though, that I actually saw a commenter say in YouTube, as well as post an actual image of his confusion on Pony Buru, asking the question about Rarity's singing voice actress sounding a good deal different from Rarity this time, and commenting that normally Rarity's singing voice actress is able to get her voice a bit closer to sounding like Rarity, but this time she was a little bit, you could definitely tell the transition.
You can definitely tell, but it's still very close to Rarity anyway.
Oh, and I love the singing. It is very close to Rarity, and I've got to say that all of the voice actresses who do the singing parts only, I have to say I love each and every one of them, because I love the songs, and this song is no exception. I love this song. It is just great, showcasing all of the things about Rarity and how she thinks of herself, the confidence she has about herself, and how she wants to be in with that in crowd. And I loved the accompaniment to the song, all of the montage of her going to these different events with these high up upper class ponies, especially the art gallery, because wow, I loved the way that her hair was styled, and
It was the long hair.
the turtleneck and beret combo. That was totally.
That's gonna get drawn a lot.
Oh, it already has. I've seen some of the images on Ponyburu, but I loved it.
I have to say that this song did just come out of nowhere. It was very unexpected for me, especially since we only had a song 2 episodes prior in May the Best Pet Win. And while it wasn't a full-length song, it was easily just as good.
It was wonderful. Speaking of the music, it would sound that Mr. William Anderson is at it again with some awesome referential compositions in the background. A lot of people were saying that the music was from Carmen in the background, and I listened to it again, and I was like, oh my gosh, it is!
I'll have to listen to that again, because it completely went over my head the first time, if it was there.
Yeah, I heard this little bit, and I was like, I've heard this before, and somebody posted, this is from Carmen, isn't it? And I was like, oh, William Anderson made Carmen compositions for Brony. Ah!
Oh, William, first you referenced Batman and then Carmen. The pure range of your spectrum. Oh yeah, well, that was just blatant Ride of the Valkyries. It wasn't even a reference.
Yeah, but it was his version. He has a lot of fun with the music, you can tell. I've been noticing the background music more. It's just getting better and better.
Oh yeah. I've got to say though, my favorite reference until he does something to one up the reference in Mysterious Mare Duel, the Batman theme reference is going to be my number 1 background music reference, because it was just brilliant, especially since the animators included another reference to Batman in the episode, which was the little signs that everyone was holding up at the event for Mare Duel, with Mare Duel in black against a red backdrop, which was a total reference to the Batman the Animated Series. That was brilliant. So that's probably going to be my number 1 background music theme reference, would be the Batman theme reference.
So, did any of you spot Derpy in this episode? I know Derpy has been in every episode, so I'm sure she's in there somewhere, but I didn't see her.
She has appeared twice in this episode, actually. The first time was, I believe it's towards the start of the song, where Rarity's, it zooms out to a collage of all different ponies in the little squares, and Derpy is to the left side in her Lunar Eclipse outfit in the paper bags. And the second time is when Rarity is christening the dirigible yacht. Derpy is to the right side of the crowd. Another pony that we notice in that scene is Prince Blueblood, directly behind Rarity.
Oh, dear Lord.
He's jealous.
Oh, gosh.
Everybody was like, I wonder if we'll see Prince Blueblood in this episode, and I'm sure that the people at the studio were like, you know, he's a noble, he would show up there. So that was a lot of pleasing for the fans right there.
Although they were probably hoping for something more along the lines of see and hear Prince Blueblood and get a little bit more, cake in the face bit. Yeah, showing up Prince Blueblood for Rarity.
Yeah, but at least he was there.
True.
I think that was pretty cool. I also find it hysterical, and I'll have to look, Derpy was in the paper bag outfit.
On the topic of Prince Blueblood, he was most likely there because Rarity was making a name for herself in Canterlot, rather than just being at the Grand Galloping Gala as a good fashion designer from Ponyville. She was the best party pony of Fancy Pants.
True.
I also noticed they really included a lot of the Canterlot. Now we know that Octavia does her usual concerts in Canterlot.
Indeed, and she apparently does perform for the upper class, which means that she must have some level of reputation, otherwise she wouldn't be invited, as we all know how snooty these upper class ponies of Canterlot are.
We also caught glances of Photo Finish and Sapphire Shores in this episode.
Don't forget Hoity Toity.
I didn't see Sapphire.
She was in the squares as well, to the right side.
I love Sapphire. I really hope that we see something, like, maybe have her speak at some point. I know that's wishful thinking, but her voice is just awesome.
I expected you to say, I really hope we see something sensational.
I was totally thinking that too.
I was thinking of her saying sensational as talking, so I guess it's close enough.
Now, this Okay, getting to this point though, after the whole montage is done, and we see that she's far too tired to complete Twilight's dress, and it looks like nothing more than like a pullover nightie at this point. It's got no more body to it than a really simple design. We see that she has been invited to one other posh soiree, which is second only to the Grand Galloping Gala in its importance. And considering how poorly the gala went the first time, this is her chance to really get in good with the upper class ponies. But it's on the same day as Twilight's birthday party. So what does she do? Well, surely she does the good friend thing and goes back to Ponyville despite it. No.
This is Rarity we're talking about.
Instead, she lies that Opal is ill and can't possibly make the journey back to Ponyville so that she can go to the soiree. But who here was really expecting it would be that easy for her? Who here did not think that when one of her friends couldn't show up to a party, Pinkie Pie wouldn't find a way to get her other friends to take the party to her?
That was very, very funny.
I have to say that the Pinkie Pie party canon is now canon.
Oh
It
gosh,
is.
the Pinkie Pie party canon.
Also, one thing I noticed in the scene where all her friends show up at her room, that Rarity completely forgets that amongst her friends is somebody who cares for animals. And she almost let her lie slip that right there. She almost let the cat out of their bag. Or in this case, the shower.
Oh gosh. Terrible pun, Crescendo.
Yeah, she, I think, was so panicky that she pretty much was in the moment just lying. Lies aren't usually thought out. Being a psych student, I know this. Deception, lies, not thought out. And Rarity's quite the liar this episode. We found out she's a huge liar at some point.
She's a pretty bad liar, though. I mean,
Yeah.
second only to Applejack in episodes 1 and 2 of this season, where she looks around with her shifty eyes.
Well, all of that being said, I've got to say that Twilight took her dress being pretty simple and not really finished in the first place pretty well. And the events from that point forward, with the party being held pretty much right next to the garden party, and Rarity attempting to go to both at the same time.
That entire montage was brilliant.
Oh, it was great. It was really great.
I have to say, as soon as that door opened to the ballroom, I was all, it's the Grand Galloping Gala take 2.
Oh gosh, especially after the group all said that we'll just have our party. We'll just be involved with the garden party instead, you know. And it's like they're going around
Twilight's dance
in their Ramba line with the party cannon and Applejack playing in the mud.
It was great. Isn't this a garden party?
Oh gosh, that was just all of that, just so crazy. And of course, being the gentle colt that he is, and the only intelligent member of the upper class, Fancy Pants finds it all very endearing, and he even comments that he likes Twilight's dress, simple though it may be, and he means it honestly. And so when it all comes down to Rarity being called out about, do you know these ponies, these ruffians? And she says, yes, she does. And then, Fancy Pants says that he finds them, charming in a rustic sort of way. All of the other posh ponies are quick, to jump in with Fancy Pants' opinion. But at least it showed, in the end, Rarity chooses her friends over being with the in crowd, and Fancy Pants shows that he's a pretty awesome pony. I'm thinking that there'll be a pretty decent portion of fan fiction for Fancy Pants Rarity shipping after this.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too.
He's Rarity's kind of stallion, and he's actually, a good guy. he's a nice dude, a gentle colt, unlike her original dream pony, Prince Blueblood.
Also, I have to say, on behalf of all of EverFree Radio, our birthday present to Twilight Sparkle is dancing lessons.
Her dance. I wanted to mention that too.
Oh, gosh!
Oh my goodness. It was so fantastic. I was just sitting there with my eyes like wide open. Am I really seeing this?
Just remember, everyone, she's socially inept. She probably learned to dance by throwing together various steps she found pictured in a book somewhere.
Well, that's what it looks like. She's doing like 50 million things at once.
The only thing she's had to do as far as dancing goes, because remember, she didn't dance at the Grand Galloping Gala. She spent the entire time standing right next to Princess Celestia greeting people. So you got to remember, the only place she's probably danced has been at Pinkie Pie's parties with really close friends. And most of the time she keeps those dances simple, the simple, hop on one hoof, hop to the other sort of thing with that normal party music going in the background.
Yes.
Well, man, she went crazy this episode.
I'm sure whoever was animating that had a lot of fun.
Oh, gosh. I want a GIF. I want a GIF of that dance.
It's probably already around, or it's being made.
Yes, I believe I've already seen one.
Coming to a close with Rarity starting up a friendship letter to Celestia, only to then have Celestia pop up behind her saying, "I would like to hear that." That's a story I'd like to hear. Now, I've got to say that Celestia continues to prove entertaining as few times she manages to get into some of these episodes. Every time she's actually involved with an episode, it's really great, and she is such a troll.
Yes, I was like, Celestia's gonna show up behind Rarity. Celestia's gonna show up. Up there she is.
But I found that this entire episode did a really good job further developing Rarity's character. We also got to see some more with the rest of the main six. Of course, with Pinkie bringing the party to Rarity in Canterlot, Twilight's crazy dance, and pretty much the entirety of this episode. I think it was very well done. It provided lots of development as far as Rarity's character goes. And while I'm sure that other people might say that this probably started as a step backwards from the Sonic Rain Boom at the Young Flyers competition, I think that they actually did show that she was developed beyond that point, because she would have just thrown all manner of previous plans out the window.
Yes.
In the past, and just gone straight for getting in with the popular ponies. But you did see her struggle with trying to balance the two, getting in with the upper class and working on Twilight's birthday dress like she said she would.
Yeah, you have to remember she was also living the dream there. So while some people may say it's a step back, you have to imagine the situation she's in. Like, what if Rainbow Dash had the Wonderbolts, ask her to hang out with them at the expense of some sort of event that she had already previously planned with another friend? It's the same kind of level of difficulty and choice.
Well, yeah, in that end, it comes down to being a good friend and being loyal to your friends, or taking the more selfish road and going after, because there's always been, even in the fandom, there's been a lot of talk of that kind of situation if it had occurred with Rainbow Dash in particular, where if Rainbow Dash, being the element of loyalty, were to be in an event, in a situation like Rarity was put in with this episode, where it came down to either her dream of getting in with the Wonderbolts or her friends, what would she choose?
It's kind of sad that you have to think, what would she choose?
Yeah, it kind of is, especially considering it's like you want to say that Rainbow Dash would choose her friends because of loyalty, but we know how important the Wonderbolts are to her. Now, you might reference in the second episode, the second part of the two-parter in season 1, when she turns down the Shadow Bolts, but admittedly, cool as they were, the Shadow Bolts are not the Wonderbolts. And if she was made the same offer by the Wonderbolts, there'd probably be a bit more hesitation to stay with her friends. Now, that being said, all things considered, I felt that this was a very powerful episode. It really served its purpose in further developing Rarity's character. It showed us more of what Canterlot's class structure is like, what kind of people live in Canterlot.
And we saw more of Canterlot. Now we just need to see the inside of Dash's house.
Yeah. And with that being said, it also gave us all of the entertainment we could ever want from the episode. With, we got a song out of it, we got all of the crazy stuff from the rest of the elements of harmony showing up and for the birthday party. And all things said and done, I think that this was all around a perfect episode. The inclusion of the song even makes it so. I'm gonna give this episode a full 5 stars and just say that if you like episodes with Rarity, this is definitely the episode for you. And if you like episodes with shenanigans, hold out till the end, and your patience will pay off, because the stuff that goes on at the end party with Twilight's birthday party and the garden party is just fantastic. So
it's wonderful.
I give it a solid 5 stars. To me, this was a perfect episode. It had a song. It developed the character. It showed us more of places that we wanted to see. It even had minor characters in it, like Fancy Pants, that actually had some depth and served as good stepping stones for our characters in developing in the right direction. Especially since now we've got more people, more ponies to work with for the background fandom, more background ponies to get into the spotlight.
Yeah.
So all around, perfect episode for me. What do you guys think?
In all honesty, I at first I was very hesitant to give it a 5. I didn't feel it was as good as, say, Lunar Eclipsed, which I believe I also gave a 5. But the episode has grown on me, especially since it definitely shows so much of Rarity's development, like how she declines when she's stuck between 2 major decisions that could both affect her life. Like, what if her friends hadn't forgiven her for what she did? And such.
Mm-hmm.
So that, combined with things such as the song, the wackiness at the end with the party, and how everything resolved itself in a nice little bundle, I give it a 5. How about you, Autumn?
Well, I put my partiality to Rarity aside in rating this episode, and I too was a bit hesitant to give it a 5 because I seem to give way too many high scores. But all in all, if I'm looking at this from a completely, analytical and critical perspective, it had everything it needed to be a solid episode. I felt like it flowed very well. No, the ending was predictable. It was so fun to see, Rarity's behavior and, being the element of generosity. She wanted to please everybody, but she also wanted to, please herself. She wanted to please her friends. She wanted to please the people in Camelot, the ponies, and all in all, it was very well rounded, and the song was great. So honestly, I don't see why it shouldn't get a 5.
I agree. And that being said, this episode is probably one of the episodes that I would say that I would put as a go-to episode for the defining episodes of season 2 that really have made the season great so far. This is definitely one of them. And I think we'll be seeing a lot more of this, especially considering that having gotten our second episode now with a song in it, and knowing that there are more songs along the way for season 2 and the upcoming season 3, I think that we have a lot to look forward to future episodes. Now, that being said, I think it's about time we wrap this up. Thank you for tuning in to EverFree Radio and joining us for our review of the episode Sweet and Elite featuring Rarity. I've been your host, Brushin Bones.
I'm AutumnSpice, your co-host.
And I'm Crescendo.
And we will get back to you next time. Thanks for joining us.
Soon Bones and Socksy review A Drop of Moonshine by Penstroke, and we are proud to present our interview with Jim and Ed from AcousticBrony. But first, here's a rising track in the Brony orchestrated music scene, My Dream Mare, Movement 1, Her Sunset by Lavender Harmony.
Hello, ponies. This is One Trick, and I'm here with Crescendo.
Hi there.
And we're talking with the guys from AcousticBrony. Say hello, guys.
Hey. Hey, how you doing?
And we're here with Ed and Jimmy. Ed, you are the drummer, is that correct?
Yes, I am. That is correct.
And Jimmy there is guitarist.
Yep.
Can I ask you really quickly, what effect are you using on that guitar?
Same question everyone asks.
Oh, it's actually an already set preset called Dreamy Texture, which uses a lot of it uses chorus, it uses delay, it uses quite a lot of stuff actually, which I can't think of off the top of my head at this point. But yeah, I'm glad people actually like that kind of signature sound we have, because I tend to use it a lot, and Ed can vouch for me here. I will use that like every single song if the chance arises.
I tell you, when I'm listening to a playlist and I hear that roll on, I know exactly who is playing the music. It's very distinguishable. There are other people in your group. You guys have 6 members total, is that correct?
Yes, we do.
Yep.
And are you from all over, or are you close together? Do you practice together?
Well, we're all based in the same kind of area, the same kind of town and that. But because of the commitments that the other guys have got, including college, uni, and other projects, it's kind of hard for us to all to get together. So basically, we just kind of get together whenever the opportunity arises and do what we can with the short amount of time we have.
So, what area of the country are you in then?
We're actually just south of London, about, 45 minutes from London?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. I was making an approximate guess.
So, where did you all meet then?
It actually started at the college.
Yeah.
We're both doing the same kind of course, except Jimmy's on guitar and I'm on drums, of course. And we just got jamming in that during the lectures. And eventually, after getting to know each other, realised we were both bronies and decided that would be a perfect opportunity to work on some pony music together.
How exactly did you become bronies?
Oh, okay. This is actually a very interesting story. We actually both watched the G1 series.
That kind of makes me feel less masculine.
I watched the G1 series. Ed watched the G1 series, and we loved My Little Pony even back then. Like even before it was like, as they say, mainstream, MANE. But but yeah, we had a kind of mutual love of this show about ponies. It's like epic. And then when G2 came along, that was also not as great. Like when Tails came out, that was alright, not as good as G1, but bearable. Then it all went downhill. G3 and G3.5.
It was too girly. Like they completely milked the whole audience of small girls.
I was so excited
It was
when that showed
kind of
up.
cringy.
I had a bunch of the G1 toys, and when G3 came out, I had to pack them away because I couldn't stand to look at them anymore.
Oh, that's quite saddening, actually. I never watched ponies until G4, actually.
Ah.
When did you start watching G1 then?
Oh wow. That's tough to pinpoint an actual date on. I guess it was just when it was on TV and that, if we were just watching TV during all the kid shows and that, and it was on, would watch it, get into it, and just kind of watch it whenever it was on.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed it so much that when like other series came out, we continued to watch it because we enjoyed the previous kind of shows. And yeah, it just kind of built from there. So it wasn't a really kind of set date that I can remember I started watching it.
Yeah, I was really young. I can't even remember that back then.
But yeah, no, we just watched it whenever it was on and just went from there.
And I guess we could call you long-term bronies.
That's actually quite a cool term. I can deal with that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Long-term bronies.
So, bringing it back to G4, I hear that the 6 of you have named yourselves after the main 6.
Yes, we have. Each of us have got a pony, all our favourite ponies, which was quite coincidental considering none of them kind of crashed. we all have a distinct one we like, which worked perfectly, so there were no kind of disputes over who had which one.
Care to list them for us?
Okay, well, obviously we have Jimmy, who's AJ.
Yeah, AJ.
So pretty much your standard girl that you'd long for. Me, well, I can't help but love Rainbow Dash. Kind of just brilliant in every way. We've got the ultimate Freddy, who's kind of our vocalist, but hardly see much of him. who's obsessed with Pinkie Pie from the whole party aspect, kind of hyperness, just mental in every way. Our piano player, Josh, who only on a couple of tracks, really.
Yeah.
Twilight's mostly. Is Rarity. Obviously, you can tell that from the whole piano choice and kind of classical class. And we have Matt, who's our bassist, kind of the shy, quiet one. Obviously, that kind of coincides with Fluttershy and how much they're alike, except he does have his crazy moments.
It's not... I wouldn't say he's exactly like Fluttershy, because he does have his... Well, Fluttershy does have a crazy moments as well.
Yeah.
So I reckon it works.
It's just kind of spitting image in a way.
Yeah.
Just opposite genders.
Yeah.
And then we've got Nathan, who's our second guitarist, who kind of likes Twilight Sparkle as the whole kind of leader, kind of role model sort of thing that everyone like. He just likes to be not in charge, but be organized and have everything set in a certain way.
He tends to take charge. I mean, all the rest of us are kind of silly.
Yeah, a bit childish, but hey, what can you expect?
You guys have most of your songs are pony themed. The person, like you said, Ed, is Rainbow Dash. Do you have the influence over how the pony themed song goes?
I don't know, because when we were writing the Spectrum, we were just I was just thinking, kind of like the way Rainbow Dash is kind of not. I don't know how to explain it. Because Rainbow Dash is sort of kind of energetic, fast-paced, sort of likes the speed and more of kind of a rock chick sort of thing.
Yeah.
You can see her as sort of a tomboy and everything. So taking the influence from the speed and power that she has, I kind of tried to move that over onto the track that we did and build it from there.
I see that we're missing a Pinkie Pie theme. Does that mean we're going to get one in the future?
That is in the works, but
we can't actually reveal anything about that now. I mean, we did release the preview of that.
All we can say is it is confusing. It's got a lot of genres. That's all we can really say. Other than that, it's just a big mess, and trying to fit it all together is our main priority and the biggest challenge we have so far.
It sounds like you're trying to create the song from the Pinkie Pie party canon. So I have to ask, who writes the songs then?
It's really, a joint combination in most aspects. We all write our own parts to an extent. But I'd say Jimmy is the mastermind behind most of the tracks and all our lyrical wonders.
Yeah, it's basically I tend to come up with an idea because how like when you were talking to Ed about Rainbow Dash sounding kind of hype, energetic, and we try to put that into a theme. Me myself personally, I check out each pony's character and personality and try and incorporate that into a sound that best suits their character, and that's kind of the process really in trying to kind of
basically come up with the personality, the idea, put it into a song, and then just build it from there. So once we have the initial basis idea, then we can start adding the other instruments and track around it and building it to what it like the final product.
I do have to ask, because I am from America and I am from the South, how did you come up with the Applejack country song?
I'll leave Jimmy to talk to you this one.
Okay, yeah, well, AJ is my favorite character. I love AJ. I love the G1 AJ, and I know. I guess it's kind of stuck with me, her being my favorite character. And a lot of people might not realize this, but because we do a lot of soft rock and because we kind of mix genres, my favorite genre of music is country. I'm not lying, and but the fact of the matter is I can't play it for the life of me, and I basically had to look through a bunch of tutorials on the internet, mostly to look to try and get around that. And so I looked at a lot of bluegrass videos, a lot of country videos, and I kind of just incorporated some of the ideas that I watched on the internet into that song. Like we have a lot of banjos going on there and mandolins. And then I figured, why not put the rock bit in there as well, to kind of stick with our sound a bit as well, kind of not sway too far away from what we sound like.
I did hear a bit of slide guitar in there also.
Anything guitar we leave to Jimmy. He'll take the sounds, he'll get the inspiration and just go for it.
Would you say that your like of Applejack is what led you to cover Who's a Silly Pony?
Yes, it is. I know I said this on my video as well. Words cannot describe how much I love that pony. Like I love the G1 Applejack, and then I stuck with. I've already said this, but I've stuck with that pony. When the G4 Applejack was revealed, I figured country pony, and I adore the country accent. I love the country accent, and I guess I just fell in love with the G4 Applejack as well, just from that.
Yeah, it reminds me of how I just instantly fell in love with Rainbow Dash.
See, I am best pony.
Oh, sure. Keep telling me.
We know you have all your favourite ponies, but what would you say are the external influences of your music?
It's kind of hard to choose a single influence or a group, because we cover as many genres as possible, because we don't want to be limited to a single genre. And because of the wide variety of genres that we include, it's kind of hard to pinpoint an exact style or genre or band. But some people have compared us to some bands.
Yeah, a lot of people have compared us to the likes of Buckethead, God is an Astronaut. But the fact of the matter is, it's like, until people mentioned these bands, we had never heard of them before.
I've heard of Buckethead, but I've never actually given them a listen.
Well, yeah, me neither, but so we did give it a listen, and we figured, yeah, this does kind of a lot sound like our stuff. But the thing is, we don't, when we make the pony themes, we don't listen to a lot of music to influence, apart from the Applejack one, of course. But
we just go by personality and what we think they would sound like.
Yeah, we go with personality. We start from base zero.
I don't know if you're aware, but we did use one of your songs, Crepuscularity, in our first episode.
I did see that, yes.
We were quite shocked, as we never thought that something like that would ever happen with our music.
Yeah.
But it was a very pleasant surprise, and we did give out a little squee of joy.
We did, yeah. Little Fluttershy squee.
That was probably one of the first originally composed songs that I've heard that actually inspired me, and I had to get it in there. And really what I have to ask is, how do you do your orchestration and your strings and your songs?
There's, because we're kind of limited in terms of money and software, we are using basic GarageBand and a Tascam. So it's, it's kind of budget stuff.
Yeah.
So when it comes to doing the kind of orchestra stuff, we either find a loop, but not a long one, because we don't want too much in there that's not us. So we will find a small thing, take inspiration from it, and edit it so that it fits our need and it's how we want it, instead of kind of pre-made.
But then we also have the note input, where you actually create the orchestra from scratch,
which is a daunting task that no one wants to do.
But the Lunar and Celestia track was the exception to that. That was the one where I actually sat down and went for it. I was like, okay, I'm doing this right now. I'm not stopping.
No distractions.
No distractions.
And it was well worth it.
Well, thank you.
Whilst we're on the topic of crepuscularity, I do have to ask, what brought you to use that word for the title?
Jimmy?
Oh, okay. Basically, when I had made the Celestia and Luna theme before that one, and I already had come up with names for those ones, which was, as you may have already read on the page, Celestial Diurnality meaning in the day, and Lunar Nocturnality, which means night. So I was basically looking through Wikipedia, and I saw the word crepuscularity, and I clicked on it, and it meant by twilight, so I figured that works really well.
I tell you, it took us a little bit to figure out how to even say the word the first time we read it, but we did get through it.
Nah, it took us a while as well. It's one of those words which just kind of went straight over my head.
I love one guy's comment on that song though. He's like, I love songs which make me want to go check the dictionary.
From such a subdued song, you go to right around, you change genres, you go right to a grungy type metal song with Rainbow Dash. And then you move into Ballad Shy, which is just, relaxing and wonderful. And then you get right in there to the drum and bass.
Oh, dear. Well, we kind of saw Vinyl Scratch as sort of, because it's a DJ pony, and everyone was already doing kind of trance remixes and all that. So we thought we'd go completely out of our comfort zone and, I don't know, go for a bit of drum and bass. Try our hands at it and see what we could come up with.
Yeah.
Well, it did come out very good. One of the songs that I really liked that you went to was that new one that was just uploaded where Jimmy was rapping.
Oh dear.
I am never doing that again.
It was, well, I don't know. It was basically a one-off thing because we wanted to get involved more with the community because everyone seems to love the whole pony swag.
Yeah, we did get a lot of comments saying, don't rap, it's not you. But I said, rap isn't me. I know it's not me, but I wanted to get involved in the community a bit, you know what I mean? And yeah, I kind of woke up one morning and figured, you know what? I'm going to do a pony swag verse today.
So yeah, kind of developed that, wrote it, and then just went for it. And it's not to everyone's taste. They say we should stick to our music and never rap again. And we'll probably take that sound advice. But yeah, we thought we'd give it a go. No harm in trying.
I gave it a listen just this morning, and I laughed at it. I thought it was great. I could see the humor in it, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Pinkie Pie song aside, what else are you guys planning on experimenting with?
Oh wow,
The list. Oh goodness.
The list of upcoming projects is near enough endless. We are currently doing a collaboration with Mike the Microphone. That's gonna be quite interesting to see how that turns out. We have also got what's the other one? We got a couple of Christmas songs that we're trying to sort out.
Yep.
We've also got a massive project coming up with Mando Pony. I believe you played one of his songs in a previous show.
Yes, we had.
Yeah, so we're doing a few songs with him, which should be an interesting experience.
Mm-hmm.
A nice bit of acoustic with some rock.
Doing a few covers as well of some of the other Brony musician songs.
Yeah, we might be doing a cover of The Living Tombstone, one of his remixes, but kind of heavying it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many we can't remember the whole list, but we're going to be quite busy for the next couple of months, I think.
Yeah, and Christmas coming up as well.
With Christmas, there's going to be quite a high demand, and got to speed out those Christmas tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Mando Pony, we're actually going to be talking with him sometime in the future.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're also talking with the maker of Epic Cupcake Time.
I love that video.
That is brilliant.
So you've covered now, I believe it's 2 songs from the actual show with a rock cover. Do you have any plans to do more of those?
When we first started out 9 months ago,
Longer than that.
It does seem longer than that, but it is 9 months.
It's weird.
We did do a few of those, but with horrific quality. I'm not lying.
Because back then we didn't have the software. We had GarageBand, but we didn't have the Tascam to record through.
Yeah.
We didn't have the microphone. It was just basically bog standard from either a phone or the input microphone.
Yeah.
So they came out pretty bad quality, but people seem to like them nonetheless. So I think we'll somehow get round to re-recording them.
Yeah.
And probably do a few new ones. We are going to do a cover of the new song. Going to heavy that up a bit with a bit of rock.
Definitely, yeah.
That actually is going to be one of our collaborations with Mando Pony. Going to have him doing a bit of sting vocals. That'll be quite interesting.
Have you considered collaborating with any of the electronic artists?
We have, but it's trying to think of an idea that we could kind of put forward with it.
Yeah.
We have recently heard, it was Tombstone that did the new song.
Yes.
The Living Tombstone recently just put out a song, and we know him for being kind of electro, upbeat, kind of grungy electro.
Mm.
But recently he's put some heavy guitar in it, and it sounds quite cool. So I think we'll try and get some heavy electro going on at some point, mix the guitars a bit.
Yeah.
Do you find that electronic songs influence any of your compositions?
I wouldn't say so, but we do love those songs, don't get us wrong. Wooden Toaster, Living Tombstone,
Mike,
DJ Alex, those guys are just immense. We love to listen to them whenever we get the chance. But I wouldn't say they're a big influence of what we do.
So have any other pony artists really inspired you to at least think of making a song in that type of genre?
I kind of wanted to do kind of a Living Tombstone sort of track, something like that.
Something like that.
But it's just the know-how on how to do it and getting it all written, and it's something that's not really within my grasp.
But I reckon a lot of of the Brony musicians who kind of really I like to listen to because he's got a really good sound, he's got really good quality in his songs, is we call him Ismboff. Ismbof.
Ismboff.
He did the Gimme RD song, which I fell in love with, and from the very day he put it out, it's still my ringtone to this day.
I am familiar with him. In fact, we just released an episode of AcousticBrony, and the intro song was by him. He's definitely a good artist out there.
Yeah.
What do you think about William Anderson's background music? Would you think about including that in some of your compositions?
There is one in the basically we did a while back when we were doing the covers with the horrific quality. We actually did a cover of one of the background songs. It was called So Awesome, and it was the song that played when Rainbow Dash pulled a Kanye West on the stage in Applebuck season, where she completely steals the limelight from Twilight. And there's a little jingle playing in the back which just goes, and we decided to kind of heavy that up a bit.
And wasn't there that hidden one that no one's found yet?
Yeah, there was one in the Fluttershy Ballad Shy video which we put in, but no one's. I did put it in the description. I said one of the lines in this song is from the show, but it's a background piece of music, and no one's discovered it yet.
Well, it's not going to be hidden for very much longer.
I must say, I have listened to your guys' songs here. Probably I had them on loop at work and at home for the last 7 hours. I must have listened to each one of them about 20 times, and I've totally missed it. I'm going to have to listen to that now.
See if you can find it.
Is there anything else hiding in there that no one's picked out yet?
Is there any other little hidden lines?
Not that I know of, no.
I think there's, in the new track we're doing.
In the new track, the one, yeah, in the new track there is a piece of background music. But probably one people would recognize instantly because it was it took up quite a bit of the show.
Yeah.
My goodness, I can't wait to hear. So you guys have a demo song that you want to play here for everybody listening?
Yeah, this song was in the preview video as well. This is a song called I'll Fly Higher, and we did it for little Scootaloo because, Scootaloo doesn't get enough love. She gets heckled a lot.
She needs quite a bit more.
She does
a bit of attention.
She does need a bit more love, and we decided to try and make the best sounding track we've ever made for little Scootaloo. So
in fact, in the demo version, that was just initial ideas. But in the most recent recording of it, we've done the instrumental so far for the mastered track.
Yeah.
And we have got a lovely appearance from the one and only Mando Pony. So that's something to look forward to.
Okay, so we have Ed and Jimmy here, AcousticBrony. They're going to play a special song for you. You probably heard it this Saturday. It is becoming popular, the pony that every pony should know.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'll be the toast of the town, the girl on the go, and the type of pony every pony should know. I'll be the one to watch the girl in the flow, and the type of pony every pony should know. Becoming as popular can be, making my mark in high society. I'm the belle of the ball, the star of the show, yeah. And the type of pony every pony should know. See how they hang on every word that I speak. My approving glance is what they all seek. I'm the creme de la creme, not just another Jane Doe, yeah. I'm the type of pony every pony should know. At home, at the opera, on a fancy yacht, becoming the talk of all of cancer lot. I'm the creme de la creme, not just another Jane Doe, yeah. I'm the type of pony every pony should know. Because I'm the type of pony, yes, I'm the type of pony. Yes, I'm the type of pony every pony should know.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Merci.
Thank you very much.
I must ask, when we saw this episode, what was your immediate reaction to the song?
I don't think words can really describe our reaction. It was as soon as we heard the music starting,
I was like, is it a song?
and then me being me, just hoping for the best, just jumped straight in with, yes, it's a song! So yeah, when it came to be an actual song, we were really happy, and as soon as it started, we instantly fell in love with it, and yeah, he's really outdone himself with this one.
Daniel Ingram's outdone himself. This is amazing.
It's a brilliant track, and we're actually really, really looking forward to covering this.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You guys did a wonderful job, and I have got to admit that this is probably one of the best live performances I've ever done of a pony song.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That means a lot to us.
Do you feel that the songs are getting more and more elevated as far as production goes?
Well, to be fair, this song itself is kind of simple. It's only a few chords that repeat themselves. But with simplicity in this case, it really doesn't matter because it's probably one of the best songs he's done for the show.
Yeah.
So I say a lot of it's just gone into how catchy it is.
Agreed.
As a whole, yeah, I'd say they have got better over time. And they're being developed a lot more productions going into it. But yeah, it's going well. I do like the songs that are coming out of this series, even though there's only been 2.
Yeah.
But both of them, I have to admit, have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And it was worth the wait, put it that way.
Yes, definitely. We can only hope for more.
Exactly.
When you watch an episode, are you, like, extra aware of, like, say, the background music?
Not as much as I should be. I'm a bit guilty to admit. But I will replay an episode if, like, when I have some free time and I do listen to some of the background music. Like, a few of my favorites at the moment are the So Awesome one.
Cutie Mark Crusaders.
The Cutie Mark Crusaders Go Crusading. Photo Finish's little kind of poppy little jingle that played whenever she appeared.
Yeah.
One I'm going to have to really give a shout out to was episode 16, Sonic Rainbow, right at the start, where she, Rainbow Dash is practicing her tricks. Then you've got that kind of rocky track playing in the back.
Yeah.
That is impressive. Yeah, I read the comments someone saying, William Anderson is like the Luna of the music department because you hardly ever see him, but he's amazing.
Yeah. The other one I really liked though, but it kind of annoyed me a bit, was in this series when there was a country jingle playing behind Applejack.
Oh yeah.
When they started talking and that country jingle played and everyone got really excited.
Every pony thought she was gonna sing.
As soon, like in the live stream we were watching, everyone was going, "Oh, it's a song! No. It was such a big build-up, and it sounded like something was going to happen, and then it just didn't. And it was a beautiful jingle. Don't get me wrong, absolutely amazing, and it really caught my attention. But I was a bit let down that there wasn't a song there.
Yeah,
I was hoping for an AJ song.
I was so disappointed because whenever AJ gets the chance to sing, I squeal like a girl. And that just kind of it built it up. Then no.
Yes, Applejack was trolling us this time.
Of all of the episodes that have been out so far, I gotta ask, what is your favorite song?
Oh, okay. Hold on.
You do realize how mean you're being to us right now. Dear. Personally, if it was my choice, I don't know about you, Jimmy, but in my opinion, I'd probably have to say At the Gala, simply from Dash's bit. Just that just did it for me. That was the icing on the cake. But no, then again, saying that, I do like Pinky singing Telegram. Those two, if I had to choose, it would be those two. I couldn't choose out of them, but those two are probably my favourites.
I'm probably going to have to go for the Cutie Mark Crusader theme song.
Ah, yes.
Simply because of the references, like to David Bowie and that, and Queen. Oh, incredible.
And the guitar in that track.
Oh, yes, the guitar. Danny Ingram, man, how?
If, like, say, for Jimmy, you got an Applejack song, would that supplement your favourite song so far?
Yes.
It probably would for you.
It would, because she hasn't had, like, I really want to see a solo Applejack song.
If that happens, when AJ gets her song, I won't get any sleep. I will be forced to cover it as soon as it's been released. And yeah, there will be no sleep for about a week until it's perfect, knowing you.
Yeah.
Then again, when Dash gets another song, I'm doing that to you.
Yeah, but the thing is, when AJ's singing parts weren't the only kind of, I reckon, standout singing part she had was in Winter Wrap-Up, because her part in the At the Gala song was the shortest part and probably the most rubbish part.
so it was almost rubbish, but it just wasn't living up to all the other ponies.
Fair, yeah, I guess.
Because you've got all of them doing their kind of sweet little cute kind of thing, and then Dash just completely owning the whole scene. And I'm not just saying that because it's best pony.
No,
it was the ownage of the whole song.
No, I agree with you there. Dash kind of owned.
Also, since you're both fans of the characters who have the same voice actress, which is Ashley Ball, do either of you listen to Hey Ocean?
We do.
Yes.
We are, in fact, massive fans of Hey Ocean. We've been meaning to see them live, but the problem is being in the UK, it's kind of hard to get around to doing that.
And her voice injury as well.
Yeah, plus the voice injury she's incurred.
I can understand with being in the UK as well.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks that we can't get to see them.
Have you all considered covering any of the Hey Ocean songs?
15 words.
15 words is
15
the one.
words.
We have given that a try.
The guitar, the scale, that little and it's difficult, really difficult.
But no, we have tried covering it.
We have tried covering it.
Whether we'll actually get a recording done is another matter altogether. But no, it would be cool to do a cover of a couple of Hey Ocean songs. I'll happily do that.
Yeah, same.
Going back to the show music, is there anything you might be looking forward to as far as music-wise?
I'd quite like Cutie Mark Crusaders to have another small song.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Not as big as the other one, but just a small little kind of thing that they could all have together. That would be a nice little addition.
Yeah. What I'm really hoping to see is because Fluttershy and Dash had a duet song, and those are the two Pegasi. I'm really hoping for a duet between the unicorns and the earth ponies as well.
Yeah, so you've got the Pegasi having their one, and then it's only fitting that the others kind of team up and do their own song as well.
Plus a Pinky Applejack song would be immense.
Pinky and Applejack would be the biggest contrast I've ever heard, ever. So it's like country hyped up.
That would be odd to say.
It really would. But then again, there's no harm in it. It'd be quite awesome. I'd be up for that.
I definitely think it could work.
Yeah.
I want to see Big Macintosh sing. That would probably be fun.
That would make our day.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell our audience? Things that you might have coming up or events that you might be putting on?
Oh, that's a good point. We have actually been invited over to America to take part in Brony Stock, which is a small little event happening in California. Whether we can get there or not is another matter, considering funds getting there from the UK. But if we can, that would be a brilliant opportunity. And even if we can't, I would recommend people going down there because I'm sure it'd be a very interesting and fun experience for all the bronies.
Mm-hmm.
And when would that be?
There isn't an exact date planned yet, not that I've heard of, but I'm assuming it's sometime late next year.
Yeah.
Kind of towards the summerish.
If you're planning to at least try to go to Brony Stock, have you ever been to a meetup in England?
Nope.
Unfortunately, no. Not yet.
No. Just don't know where they happen.
Because, yeah, by the time we find out about them, it's been and gone by a good week or so.
Yeah.
Would you want to go to one of them?
Yeah.
Well, of course. That'd be...
I don't see the harm in going to it. It'll be good. I've heard that the kind of brony sort of conventions, well, I wouldn't say conventions, but meetup sort of things that go on here aren't as big as the ones that happen in America.
Yeah.
It could be interesting to see who actually turns up. But no, I'll definitely give it a go. It'll be nice to go down and meet some people, have a chat, and just brony it up.
Yeah.
If you were to attend one of your meetups there locally, would you ever consider playing for them?
Happily.
Yeah.
No questions asked. If they wanted us to play, or if there was an opportunity to, we would jump at the opportunity because we like to perform, we like to get our music out there, and just have fun, basically. So if the opportunity arised, I don't see why not.
I believe that the fact that the meetups here are kind of smaller is because the community is just bigger in America. Speaking of which, since you have watched from G1 Ponies, did you expect the Brony community to, spring up as fast?
Not at all.
Not
no.
at all. Because back then, no one really had... It didn't really have this kind of following.
Yeah. Because being a young boy, watching My Little Pony, it is kind of frowned upon. And so the boys didn't really get into it. And then, G2 came out, G3 came out, and it was still the same thing. When G4 came out,
it kind of clicked with people. People just wanted more.
Yeah, because after Bomb, which was G3, I heard G4 was coming out, and I figured, oh, well, they couldn't have possibly made it any more worse. So I gave it a go. And yeah, I really liked the characters and kind of how they developed, especially Twilight's in the first 2 episodes. And that kind of it kind of clicked with me that like this is actually pretty good. It's almost reminiscent of G1 in the fact that, you know, they had all these kind of epic adventures. And yeah, I guess the love for it kind of
came back.
Yeah, it came back. And
apparently it did with many other people as well.
Yeah.
And now we've got everything we have today, the massive Brony community with pure love and tolerance for all. Which is quite surprising. The Brony community is, in my opinion, probably one of the most happy and friendly, caring and loving community I've ever seen.
Plus, we work fast.
Yes, the amount of artists, not just musicians, but actual like artists on DeviantArt and everything.
Like
a new pony comes out instantly. There's drawings, fanfics, music, everything. A new song, it gets covered within a day or two. The Brony community as a whole work really quickly on new content.
Well, you guys certainly covered the new song very quickly.
That did spend a good few hours of our night. I'd say about until 4 a.m.
Yeah, 4 a.m.
My goodness. You guys mentioned some Christmas music coming up. When do we expect that to come out?
Well, one of them's kind of hard to pinpoint a rough date. I'm hoping for an actual Christmas Day release.
Yeah.
That would be a nice little thing to do.
Yeah, one of them is coming on Eve, and don't take that one to heart. I'm going to say that now.
The Christmas Eve one is more of personal joke and comedy. It's more of a thing for us than the viewers. It's just a bit of fun on our part. But the actual one that will release on Christmas Day is going to be the actual...
It's going to be a
proper Christmas song, no jokes, just actually going for it and releasing some real content instead of jokes.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for the upcoming episode for Hearthswarming Eve?
I've read the description of that, and that is sounding really interesting.
It is.
Like Earth Ponies, Unicorns, Pegasi, all kind of maybe fighting and then putting aside their differences.
It's something to look forward to, I'll give you that. It's going to be very interesting.
We can actually find out how Equestria was made.
That's going to be the big talking point. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of fanfics to come from that.
Pinky's logic will go down the drain.
And would you hope for a song in the episode?
Oh, of course.
There are no questions asked.
Of course.
There needs to be a song in that episode. One way or another, there needs to be a song.
There needs to be a song in every episode. I'm just saying. I don't want to overwork Daniel Ingram. He's a cool guy.
We've had a good interview here with Ed and Jimmy from AcousticBrony. They have over 3,000 subscribers there on YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, you need to get over there and start clicking. They've got a lot of good music. I want to thank Ed and Jimmy for talking with us.
Yeah, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it's been good being here. It's been fun.
And we have a song of yours that no one's heard before, and we want to play it. Can you give us a little info?
Jimmy?
Well, this is the demo of the Scootaloo theme, which we were talking about a while back, and this was kind of one of the this was the very first kind of go at it, and
we put a lot of work into this one.
Yeah, we did put a lot of work into this, but yeah, keep in mind it is a demo, it's still not finished. If it sounds horrific, then it's probably intentional.
There's a few bumps that need straightening out and sorted.
Yeah,
but we'll get around to that. All in good time.
Yep.
All right. Well, I appreciate having you guys on. And this is One Trick.
I'm Crescendo.
And Ed and Jimmy from AcousticBrony. Thanks for coming, guys.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Some people call me little, some people call me small, but given the chance I'll rise up and stand above them all. Some people put me down, some people kick me around. But believe me when I tell you I'll be the one that rules this town. But they all say no, and they say you can't go. But I won't let them decide who I should be. Colorful rainbows catch my eye when I see you fly across the sky. You're like a drug that calms the mind. You're like a drug that calms the mind. I'll flap my wings and get onto the floor. I'll fly higher than ever before. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. Some people call me a chicken, some people say that I can't. But what these people fail to understand is that I'll go around with my friends. Hand in hand, our friendship will never end. Hold on, this could get nostalgic when we look back and see that friendship is magic. Look here, our three little ponies, ready to sing for this crowd. Listen up, this is our story, we're gonna sing it very loud. Colorful rainbows catch my eye when I see you fly across the sky. You're like a drug that calms the mind. You're like a drug that calms the mind. I'll flap my wings and get onto the floor. I'll fly higher than ever before. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. I know if you give me the chance. 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 I'll be the one who stands up tall, the one who rises above them all, the one who gets to be somebody. Colorful rainbows catch my eye when I see you fly across the sky. You're like a drug that calms the mind. You're like a drug that calms the mind. I'll flap my wings and get onto the floor. I'll fly higher than ever before. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. Colorful rainbows catch my eye when I see you fly across the sky. You're like a drug that calms the mind. You're like a drug that calms the mind. I'll flap my wings and get off of the floor. I'll fly higher than ever before. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. Wind in my hair as I start to soar.
and welcome once again to FanFic Review Corner. I am your host, Brushin Bones, and Moonlight could not be with us today, so today my co-host for you will be Socksy.
Hey everyone.
Today we're going to be reviewing a special little story that's a great one-shot by one of our favorite authors in the community, Pinstroke, who, of course, penned the infamous tale featuring Nyx, Past Sins. Now, this one isn't so serious or epic as Past Sins, it just being a one-shot as it is. It is a comedy called A Drop of Moonshine, and it is about Celestia. After a busy day, her and Luna decide to partake of a delicious and highly alcoholic beverage that Luna makes from condensed moonbeams called Moonshine. So it's moonshine in the most literal of senses.
Although I myself not really buy that kind of premise that you can condense pure moonlight into moonshine.
As fantastic and ridiculous as it may seem, it is for the purposes of comedy, and these are magical creatures, so suspension of disbelief can be stretched pretty far.
Yeah.
That being said, so Celestia, hard day of work, all of the court stuff, all of the dealing with the nobles and the disputes and the laws and all the things that a leader has to do, the stuff that often gets looked over in several different tales. This particular day has been really stressful for Celestia, and so when Luna comes in, also stressed out beyond belief. And by the way, since it is a one-shot, there will be some spoilers. It's really hard to tell the tale without spoiling it when it's a story so short. So when Luna comes in and sees that her sister is so exhausted, and she herself is exhausted after, spending 1,000 years in the moon and coming back to a now more advanced Equestria that needs a lot more bylaws and regulations in order to maintain a working system of government. Both of them are exhausted, and Luna says, "Why don't we have something to drink?" At which point Celestia has to inform her that due to her depression after banishing Luna to the moon, she became quite a rabid drunk. And so the Dry Equestria Act was passed, which resulted in the prohibition of all forms of alcohol for the sake of the good of the land of Equestria. They had to not make alcohol so that Celestia could not get her hands on any, or hooves in this case.
One would wonder what Celestia did those many years ago to have them ban alcohol in its entirety for like 1,000 years.
Well, and you got to realize that she apparently was she was dead set on getting that alcohol, because they tried more simple methods. They tried to just keep her from getting the alcohol. They tried to restrict her alcohol intake, and
it failed.
It failed. It was useless to attempt to do so. So basically what ends up happening is Luna says, well, all of that aside, they couldn't stop me from making alcohol because one of her special powers, she reveals, as Celestia already knows, because she has backstory that we don't, is that one of Luna's special powers is she can condense pure moonlight and moonbeams into the purest of pure alcoholic beverages called Moonshine. And unlike moonshine as we know it, the distilled stuff out in a whiskey still that's harsh and bites your throat as it goes down and burns your insides because of just how sharp and alcoholic it is, moonshine made by Luna is pure and smooth like drinking liquid silk. And so Celestia, knowing that the day has been exhausting and having had a single drop of her sister's famous beverage in well over 1,000 years, decides, what the heck, we can have just one drink. One drink won't hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they were going to just stop at one.
An indeterminate number of drinks later, though, things happen.
Lots of stuff happens. Well,
Lots of stuff.
after a sequence break revealing that they are now drunk.
Did not stop at one drink.
Did not stop at one drink. They are sloshed, right and proper, and decide that they want to go out and see Twilight, because Twilight sends a letter to Princess Celestia, a friendship report.
Which is apparently long-winded.
Yeah, Celestia, in her drunken state, complains about how long-winded Twilight's letters are and how she wishes they could be more blunt and to the point. So Luna, in her drunken state, says, why haven't you just told her to make her reports shorter? And it's like, oh, but I couldn't do that. Twilight's such a good student.
And then they go off to visit her. Several jabs at Celestia's weight are had as she tries to fit out a window to go visit her student.
Oh, yeah. When they get there, they can't go through the door because the door is locked, and they aren't going to go through the balcony. So they lift up a window, and Luna can fit inside. And Celestia says, well, if Luna can fit inside, I can fit inside. And
Yep.
she can't quite get in past her haunches. So Luna takes a couple of not so subtle jabs at Celestia's weight, which is returned with great anger and aplomb, with lots of shouts by Celestia about not being fat.
Who knew the immortal goddess of the sun was sensitive about her weight?
All women are sensitive about their weight to some degree. This I have learned in my experience. Now, this being said, of course Twilight was still awake at this time, because as they actually note when they're talking about visiting her, Twilight is always up late studying for no reason other than to study.
Yep, rock formations. Growing crystals.
So Twilight is awake, of course, comes downstairs to find that both Celestia and her sister have come through the window of her house and are now in their living room completely drunk, and she has no idea what's going on because since alcohol has been banned for centuries, she has no idea what moonshine is.
She doesn't know what alcohol is.
Yeah, she has no idea what alcohol is. And so she has to look in her books in order to find out when Celestia and Luna, of course, being drunk, aren't making any sense to her. She has to look in her books to discover what had happened. And basically, they come down to Celestia and Luna are hungry. So Twilight says, stay right there, I'll make sandwiches.
And she brings books with her.
By the time she's done... Celestia's decided it was taking too long and has flown off to the only place she could think of getting food that would be nice, quick, and easy at this time of night, Sweet Apple Acres. So she could get herself an apple.
And get up to some drunken shenanigans.
Oh,
Them shenanigans. Of course,
oh, jeez.
Twilight then goes after her, and, well, you can pretty much see how well that would go. What with her waking up the dog, who then wakes up Applejack, who then goes to see why the dog is barking.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, Twilight, in all her lovely, lovely intelligence, manages to think up some really, really long-winded, overly complicated excuse about how she really had a craving for an apple, and she was gonna take an apple and leave some bits in a note for Applejack, but she got the craving in the middle of practicing ventriloquism, which is why Applejack could hear another voice in the barn, and
And by then, Applejack was like, screw this, I'm too tired.
so on and so forth. So, finally, on their way back, oh, by the way, Luna is being watched by Spike, of all people, at this time, whom Twilight specifically woke up to make sure that Luna wasn't going to produce any more moonshine for the night, because they had been continuing to drink.
So a half-asleep dragon in a sleep-deprived stupor is watching a drunken moon goddess in a drunken stupor. You can see how well that's going to go.
Oh, dear. Well, on their way back, Celestia, of course, being drunken and very, very, very stubborn, it has spotted a little lovely blue flower.
Delicious.
And wants to pick a bouquet for Luna because she feels so bad about imprisoning her in the moon. And there's a long-winded, drunken, depressed rant by Celestia about how she failed her sister. And so she's going to pick these flowers and hopefully Luna will like them. But of course, these are a very special blue flower. A blue flower that we actually happen to have as our EverFree radio icon.
It's our favorite flower.
Our absolute favorite flower. Poison joke.
They call us floppy horns.
But when Twilight tries to warn Celestia, stubborn as she is, won't hear any of it. And, just to get back at Twilight, decides to eat the flower.
Nothing could go wrong.
Nothing could go wrong, right? Oh, God. Well, they finally get back. Celestia, having been deprived of moonshine for long enough, and also the moldy hay-tasting poison joke having sobered her right up, is now hungover and feeling miserable. And Luna is producing moonshine when they get back. And Spike is enabling her because she started making moonshine even when Spike told her no. But without the cups that he was providing, she was just letting it spill all over the floor of the library. So what else was he supposed to do?
Hey, he couldn't really strong-arm the goddess of the moon, could he?
He couldn't really strong-arm one of the two, matriarchs of society. One of the two queen figures, the two princesses. Especially since he's just a baby dragon after all.
And he's too tired for this crap too.
Oh yeah, too tired for this crap. So, they finally get in there. Celestia runs off to the bathroom and locks herself inside so that she can take a bath. And when Twilight comes by, Celestia says she's going to get a bath. And Twilight says, well, mine is a small tub even for a normal-sized pony, and you're a fully grown alicorn. Don't you want to go and bathe somewhere that'll fit you, like the spa or something? Well, Celestia's hasty and very energetic reply of no basically sets off the gears in Twilight's head, knowing that the poison joke did in fact do something to Celestia.
And now she's curious.
She's very curious.
Celestia said she didn't want to go out looking like this.
So using her magic, what else should Twilight do but unlock that bathroom door and look inside?
And get back at her teacher for putting her through that stuff all night.
Oh, and Celestia's wings. They are so pretty. Such a lovely shade of teal. And her coat. Such a beautiful shade of pink. And
her wings are so pretty.
Her hair. No longer that flowing, glowing, sparkling mane of pure rainbow light. Instead, it's a mess of matted, synthetic-looking hair that looks like a wig that has been placed on her head.
It's just so brushable.
Oh, dear Lord.
Of course, after that, she says, no more. Never again. And then starts to quickly change her mind and sings a song about moonshine.
Maybe just once in a while. Maybe just once in a while. And we have an ending with a song.
A song about moonshine.
Now, the story itself, dear me, this story was miles and miles of entertainment and fun, and it was a great one shot. Just one of those stories where you may not see it actually taking place in the pony world per se, but dear Lord, is it just so fun to see the shenanigans and to see what the two princesses are like when totally sloshed, and watch Twilight as she tries to deal with her drunken mentor and her mentor's drunken sister. And I've got to say that it was a pretty interesting and I gotta honestly admit it, clever idea that the author came up with regarding moonshine, as in the alcoholic beverage, actually being made by Luna by making it from moonshine, or moonlight in this case, moonbeams.
Well, I liked the story. I liked it a lot. The first time I read it, I smiled a lot at in many cases at all the shenanigans going on, all the fun being had. But that being said, there were a lot of typos that ended up grating on me.
There were indeed a lot of typos.
Issues with the structure that I had. Some tense issues. The comma use became excessive. But that's just me nitpicking.
Yeah, like aside from the spelling and grammar, which as we know, Pinstroke in his time with fan fiction writing, he does tend to go through several revisions for his stories to try and update all of that. And usually, when they're first produced, they have a pretty high number actually of spelling and grammar errors. But usually that gets cleared up. In all honesty, this actually wasn't as bad as some of the stuff that I had seen and saw when I was reading Past Sins. All things considered, they were very, 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 very subtle mistakes that if you're kind of reading it quickly and getting caught up in the actual enjoyment and the shenanigans and the fun of it.
Or you're reading it for your second time.
Yeah, when in your case, you're reading it for the second time, you're going to notice a lot more than, say, I did, who, I read it for my first time. So I was still able to I could still point out a few spelling and grammar errors, but when you get caught up in the fun and the shenanigans the first time around, and usually people are only going to read a one-shot like this, the first time, and they'll have it, and they'll be like, oh gosh, this was a great ride, I'm going to rate this, and then we'll be done with it. But aside from the spelling and grammar issues, I felt that the story was loads and loads of fun. As far as the characters being in character, this was written at a time before Luna had any characterization, and in all honesty, Pinstroke does a good job with leaving Luna's character as the kind whose overall personality, while she comes off as kind of mischievous, she's not
mostly ambiguous now.
Yeah, she's mostly like ambiguous, for the most part. She's got just enough personality to be a character who doesn't fall completely flat, but she's also got just enough personality that she doesn't actually become a character who's defined by a certain type of characterization archetype or anything like that. She's a very, very ambiguous and interpretable character, and just because she's there mainly just to be a trigger for the shenanigans, and that's all she's needed for in this particular story, because it's a one-shot written for the fun and the humor of the shenanigans.
There's a bit of fridge horror, contemplating what would happen now that Celestia started drinking again.
Oh, dear Lord. Hopefully, Luna will be the responsible alicorn and not do that anymore, because, in all honesty, if there were enough problems in the past that they had to stop alcohol production altogether, this may require some desperate measures. They may need to make a lunar cannon to send Luna back to the moon just to keep her from providing Celestia with more alcohol.
Used to be plenty of bananas.
So, Princess Luna, I hear that you've been giving your sister some moonshine. Is that true? Why, yes, it is in fact. Well, I actually have a reward for you because it's helped Celestia so much. I'm going to give you a reward picked fresh from the groves out beyond Ponyville. Let me just reach into my banana bag here. I got it here for you somewhere. So yeah, you were making moonshine for Celestia. Well, you can enjoy making moonshine on the moon.
God.
Oh God.
They're going to kill us for that one.
Oh, they're probably going to kill us for that one. It's all right. But yeah, overall, I've got to say, this is a really fun, really enjoyable story. All of the characters, for the most part, they're in character in as much as a pair of drunken alicorns can be. Twilight and Spike are completely in character. Applejack is completely in character. And while of course, like, as far as Applejack's appearance goes, while she's the element of honesty, so she could really pick out the fact that Twilight was lying really easily. She just wasn't in any mood for it because she'd been woken up from sleep anyways. And
She was too tired to care.
she was too tired to care. So, in all honesty, the characters are all well written and kept in character. The story's a lot of great fun. Aside from the spelling and grammar errors, I've got to say that it's a really good story, and it's a great short read that's just entertaining. I'm gonna say that, in my opinion, once more, using the rating system from Equestria Daily, we did get a few comments on our previous videos about how we use a star system of rating, 1 to 5 stars, with 6 star being the absolute highest. The reason we do that is because Equestria Daily is pretty much the go-to place for all things pony by this point. And for the ratings system that they use for fan fiction and other materials, it's a 5-star system with things rating at 4.7 or 4.8 earning what's referred to as 5-star status, and 4.9s and higher 6-star stories, stories that are dang near perfect. In my case, I give this story a full 5 stars because, for me, reading it the first time around, which most of the time when it's a one-shot, people are only really going to read the one-shot the one time for the enjoyment for that time, and the fun and shenanigans really cover up some of the minor flaws in the spelling and the grammar, which are really the only flaws in the story. And the rest of it is very well written. Characters are in character. The fun is really great. It's lots of energy, lots of laughs, and I found it to be a really, really enjoyable story. So 5 stars from me for A Drop of Moonshine.
I'd have to agree with the 5 stars for my first reading, but at the second reading, it would have to go back down to 4.8 due to the mistakes that I've noticed over my second read-through, through the nitpicking.
You know what's funny is that we actually got a lot of other comments in our stuff for us to review bad stories, because we are supposed to be looking at Equestria from an unnatural perspective. And as of late, we've only been reviewing stories that have rated with us particularly well, aside from some mediocre ratings from some of the stories for, like, our Halloween mini cast. But
Oh, they want bad fics, do they? I can find bad fics.
I've heard a lot of fans crying out, "Hey guys, read some bad fan fiction." So if you stay tuned and you listen in for our next minicast, we have a bad fan fiction planned. We aren't going to share it with you right here because it is going to be a surprise. But on our next fanfic review corner minicast, we will be reviewing a bad fan fiction, and it will be glorious. You will finally get to hear us give a fan fiction the berating that it deserves. Now, admittedly, I've got to stress also what might be considered a bad fan fiction to me, and I might have lots of logical or even just personal reasons for considering something a bad fan fiction. I will acknowledge that some of you listeners out there actually like, and there are a couple of fan fictions that I have planned for our review segment that I despise, despite the fact that they have some good ratings on Equestria Daily. So stay tuned and you'll get to hear some of that.
This is true. We hear about him ranting on all the time.
All the time. I'm nothing but a rant machine. Anyways,
Yeah.
that about sums it up for our review of A Drop of Moonshine by Pinstroke, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up, close this out. I am Brushin' Bones.
And I'm Socksy.
Onwards and upwards to the end of our fanfic review corner. Join us next time. See you all later.
It's that time again when our episode has reached its nostalgic yet dignified end. I want to thank this week's hosts, Bones, Autumn, Crescendo, Socksy, and One Trick for all their hard work researching, reading, recording, and re-recording. Our website post editor is Nash. Thanks to 8-Track and One Trick for their tireless last-minute editing and uploading. They worked really hard. Thank you, Jim and Ed from AcousticBrony, for joining us and gracing us with your musical talents. It was a happy privilege. We are looking forward to hearing more from you soon. Thanks again to all our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube subscribers. Keep spreading the word. Stay tuned this week to EverFreeRadio.com when we announce our next awesome guest. This is your host, Final Draft, signing off. Good night and good luck.
Cute kittens in bed.